I have made no secret of my dislike of Pokemon Chronicles and how, out of all the anime adaptations, I can now say it's my least favorite. Some people like it. I get it. And maybe you all should sit this out. I may kind of like this one, but even I will admit it's got issues. Let's open up a family that battles together, stays together, and address them. Taking place roughly in between the events of the original series and the Advanced Generation, Brock has briefly returned home to Pewter City as near my good friend Mike Pollock while Roger Parsons away. Also kind of like the callback to Showdown in Pewter City as Flint, in relation to Sinnoh Elite Four member with the fiery afro, tries to warn Brock the city is cursed, to no avail. I will address this as we go, but Legend of Thunder notwithstanding, it seems like more effort was being made with spin near the beginning. That said, we start issues right off as Flint comes clean that Brock's mother, Lola, happened to the gym. This element has been a contentious one, with many explanations for what's transpired since the original series about her coming back. Some say it was a mistranslation from the original dub. Others claimed her character simply hadn't been written yet, like those novels suggesting that Flint wasn't Lola's first husband. I will go Occam's razor. A similar explanation is probably the correct one. Essentially, four kids lied, and by proxy, so did Flint. So, we are introduced to a very much alive Lola formally. She's not cast as Zendaya, or even Kristen Wiig. She is, however, very much into extreme remodeling both the gym and their home. More on that in a few moments, as of all Brock's siblings come to greet him, including the eldest, Forrest. Let's just say that I think Flint's traits were dominant. She's also into outsider art, hanging a picture of a Smeargle masterpiece, though she refers to the monster as Smeagol instead. It's like confusing Golem with Golem. To think some people are still huffy about the Vice Ball jelly donuts. Initially thought it was his sibling Toko's crayon drawings, also reveals that Lola's in astrological signs. I've been checked on mine ages before Yon finding out which gym leader, One Piece, or My Hero Academia character I am. Additionally, I'm not certain what UU sticks are. Every time the Google search just return people asking the same question as me. But I have to guess they'd be juggling sticks. Got reference on Craig of the Creek as well as Robot Chicken Scotch on G.I. Joe Extreme. After mentioning how he missed her yodeling phase, Brock tries to justify Lola's behavior as being her usual bubbly self. Interesting sentiment. This is the first time we've seen her on screen. Flint responds showing him the gym renovations, and it's a bit of a garish mess. The whole thing looks like an outsider art project, and Brock calls out Lola for turning the rock-type gym into a water-type gym. Wait till next time. I have some choice words for then, too. There's also a bit of wasted potential for her character and his. More on this later, but instead of wacky art projects, they could have detailed how her absence affected Brock and his siblings, which it clearly has. Not saying we need to go to the levels of young adult drama, but it is something that the spin-off could have delved into and chose not to. At most, Forrest mentions he, Flint, and the other children try to talk Lola out of it, to no avail. As previously mentioned, her art projects and other quirks are basically treated as a little more than a joke, and not much else. After that, the two attempt to battle differences out to no avail. The family then has a meal together, and this also highlights one major issue with the spin-off. It plays less like an actual part of the franchise, more like a campy sitcom. You could put a laugh track in between the scene where Brock and Forrest are doing dishes and would be out of place. When another sibling else asks Forrest if he likes to go to class as opposed to one, she just had to resist the urge to say that's more of a Chandler question. Twice, the scene where Flint and Lola are talking in the gym is one scene that could have worked. Instead of focusing on the wackiness of her hobbies, they could have confronted how their absence affected their children, how Brock could have grew up much quicker than anticipated. Conversely, instead of just feeding their cycle, Brock should call them out for acting so childish instead of caring for the actual children. Yet, the episode doesn't seem interested in that, more into them making moon eyes at each other at dessert. Not sure whether the drama or the meringue is richer. Brock decided had enough and challenged Lola for control of the gym on the grounds that's not a water gym. That's a matter discussed next time, once again. Flint opposes merging the two types together, an idea Brock is opposed to, and motion seconded by Forrest. Moreover, Ladder seeks to make a play for the gym and his parents' stead, which honestly should have been a bigger focus than Lola's outside art obsession. Instead, just splashed in the last few minutes of runtime. I iterate a focus on different characters should not come at the expense of telling a story that's coherent on its own. Brock sends out Onyx against Lola's Mantine and uses Dig to drain the pool that was made. Somehow, this makes even less sense being defeated by the sprinklers and his own ego. That aside, this episode somehow has worse editing and less dynamic action than Showdown Pure City, which, despite airing years later, Brock wins the battle, and Lola finally agrees to hand control of the gym back to him and Forrest, when closing Brock putting on his Advanced Generation outfit before heading up to meet with Ash and Hoenn. A bit of a mess, but at least it wasn't a complete disaster. A family that battles together, stays together may not be the worst episode ever, especially in comparison to others, but still a key example of how even the more decent episodes of Chronicles are riddled with issues. Kind of like how Bethesda's games can be rough from a technical standpoint, but can make up for it when engaged in story and world building. On that note, while it is nice to see what happened to Brock in between the end of Johto and the beginning of Hoenn, it's marred by how the episode handles his parents, and that's because how the dub lied about Lola's death. So in Christmas specials, it's actually one of the episodes of Chronicles found somewhat decent. Despite having improved over time instead of getting worse, maybe I'd feel differently about it now. As I have stated before, there is no point at making a spin-off if you can't justify its existence. My plan is to go over every single episode I have not previously made a video on, finishing on the Christmas episode I haven't addressed yet. I like that one, so you can be sure of that at least. Also, as you will see for the next heading, the influence SSW has had on this channel shall especially be evident in this series. Post-review follow-up. Most annoying characters of the episode go to Flint and Lola. The former gets for how skittish he acts around his wife being back in town, the latter for acting so inattentive and childish when she should care more for the children she has. The next Chronicles video will be on Cerulean Blues. The earlier episode I found somewhat decent if uneven, before I get into the real mess of things. That will be all for now.